Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well tonight. My name is Rebecca Giannini. This is my group. If you're here, it's because you care about your relationships and you want to improve them. Whether that's your relationship with yourself, your partner, your kids, a co-parent, this is the spot. So I go live here every single week on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I do take topic requests. So if you have a question, please let me know, put it in the comments or send me a private message and I will get back to you. If you are catching this on the replay, please feel free to comment as well because I will be mentioning the different resources that we offer, and there are so many free resources in this group. So yes. So anyway, so tonight's topic is about lingering anger, sadness, shame, and guilt after a argument or after some sort of conflict. So this is really common for a couple of reasons. Now, there are two types of lingering that I'll talk about. So one of them would be when there's sort of that discomfort in the air, there's this sort of awkwardness, or there is this like this discomfort that we have to kind of overcome in order to kind of get back to baseline. So that's one type of lingering that happens after a conflict. But another kind of lingering happens after a conflict if we don't navigate the repair work in a meaningful way. So what happens is we get sort of used to interacting with someone a certain way. And if this person, if we are in the habit of hurting each other in a relationship, which is super common, it happens in all relationships basically, but our body and our brain is trying to recognize patterns and keep us safe and help us decide how to approach a given situation. So our brain is really great at noticing patterns. And so our brain is sort of creating these shortcuts for us and will basically prime us for how to behave in a certain situation with a specific person. So for example, if you had a really tumultuous relationship with your mom, for example, then when you are getting ready to interact with your mom, you might notice yourself have, tightness in your shoulders, or you might not talk as much as you normally might because she offers you judgment or something to that effect. Your body is sort of primed to keep you safe at all times. And so if in an interaction with another person, your body has repeatedly had hurt feelings or repeatedly been judged or repeatedly had negative experiences somehow, your body primes you for that and creates mental shortcuts for you so that you know what to expect and you know how to navigate those situations. Now, what happens is part of us is responding to what's happened in the past, and part of us is responding to what's happening in the present moment. And so that's the other kind of lingering that is so important that we're working on shifting as we do this relationship work. So what I'm going to tell you about tonight about the repair work is going to help you with both types. So we have this lingering response that happens sort of immediately after the situation where things are not quite back to normal yet in the relationship and it feels kind of weird in the air. There's that discomfort in the air as we're trying to kind of get back to baseline. And then there's this discomfort that happens over the long term when we haven't had our grievances addressed in a meaningful way over time. So what we want to do is do effective repair work. And repair work is something that you're going to have to do in every single relationship if you want that relationship to be a good, healthy one. We are going to hurt each other. We are going to step on each other's toes. We are going to have misunderstandings. And we need to be able to do repair work in order to shift into a better dynamic. The other thing that I briefly want to mention, but I'm going to do a longer topic about this, a longer live about this, is the languages that we speak. So basically, you can look at communication as a language, and every family has a different dialect. So what words mean for one family, they might mean something totally different for another family. So we can be communicating and saying the same words, thinking that we're responding to what's being said, but we're actually responding to the subtext of what's being heard by each party. So, for example, I was talking to a client earlier today, and I was watching this happen live. And so we paused the session and started talking about what specific words meant to that specific person, what they meant when they said this specific phrase, and what the other person thought they meant when they said that phrase. And so both people had an idea of what no problem meant. And so in one family, no problem was said as a form of, as a bit of passive aggressiveness. And for the other person, it was said with, in their family, it was said as a way to sort of release and reassure somebody else. And so when these people are experiencing a situation and one party is saying no problem to the other person, the first party was experiencing it as passive aggressive, and the other person was sending it with the intention of, I'm soothing you. And so that was a really obvious example, but this happens on a deeper level in most of our conversations. We think we know exactly what that person means because for us, no problem means something so clear. For us, what we're saying has a very clear expressed meaning, but in different dialects, in different languages, the same words can mean something totally different. So that's something really important to remember when we're talking about arguments. But I want to do a full live on that topic, and I want to get back to our original topic. But stay tuned for that one. That one's coming. So one of the reasons why we have lingering feelings after an argument is oftentimes we tend to apologize too early. And what happens is we get really uncomfortable when somebody that we care about is in distress. And so when somebody that we care about is in distress, we often want to fix it as quickly as possible. So we can rush to apologize before that person has fully been able to share their version of the story. And we want to soothe them, or we are uncomfortable in conflict and we want to get out of the conflict. So there are multiple different reasons why we might apologize prematurely, but it can lead to us not fully getting our version of the story heard. Therefore, we're not truly feeling understood. And so that's what causes some of that lingering to happen after the fact, because we never really fully addressed what happened. So there are these things that we wanted to say, but it can feel like because you already apologized, I shouldn't keep talking, or I shouldn't be mad still. And so there's this idea that once an apology has happened, that we can't keep talking about it. So sometimes I recommend waiting to apologize until you've fully used reflective listening and helped that person share their entire story. And sometimes in other cases, it's helpful to apologize and continue to apologize when that person is sharing the rest of their story. So it can be done both ways, but if you notice that that person has more to say and it feels like they're sort of stopped up because you already apologized, give them the opportunity to share more. So that's one reason why things linger. The other thing that happens is that we apologize, and that's our idea of the interaction being over. So we think that because we've apologized, we have taken care of it. But really what we've done is we've communicated that we care, that we've hurt the other person, but we haven't done anything to prevent us from doing that again. And so part of doing meaningful repair work is coming up with a plan so that the same situation doesn't keep happening. Because often what happens in relationships is we hurt someone and then we apologize, and we hurt someone and then we apologize, and the apologies get less and less believable over time, even though you can sort of tell that there's genuineness to the apology. If something's not done about it, then we keep hurting each other, and then the situation keeps getting worse. because it feels like you're saying sorry, but you're continuing to do the same thing over and over. Now, the problem that happens for the person being apologized to is that apology stops feeling so genuine. And the person who keeps causing the harm tends to end up thinking that there's something wrong with them because I keep hurting the person that I care about, and I don't want to do this thing that I'm continually doing, but here I am still doing it. What does that mean about me? And usually somebody struggles to separate their behavior from their character. And so this leads to a self-destructive pattern that just feeds itself, and the cycle continues over and over. So effective repair work means that we're going to be giving someone the floor and letting them express all of their pain while you're using reflective listening with them. It's going to mean that one person is in role of speaker, one person is in role of listener. It's going to mean that both parties get a turn in role of speaker, both parties get a turn in role of listener, sometimes in totally separate conversations. It's going to mean that we have a plan to do something differently next time. And it's going to mean that we're actively communicating and following up on the plan to see how it's going and to check in. So all of this, I'm sort of talking about this in a nutshell, but I have more resources on both repair work and saying a meaningful apology, weaponizing apologies, because sometimes we can use sorry as a weapon, as a means to soothe ourselves. And so it's really for us that we're apologizing versus the other person. So if you need any of those related resources, please just put resources in the comments and we'll reach out to you and get you the resources that you need. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about. It is slipping my mind. Okay, well, I'm gonna let it go. All right, well, I hope that you have a happy Halloween if you celebrate Halloween. I love Halloween. It's one of my very favorite holidays. So yeah, if you are watching this, I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope you take care of yourself, and I hope that you reach out for the resources that you need. Your relationships will get so much better. Even if you use some of these resources some of the time, it will have a huge impact in your relationships. So reach out to us when you are getting stuck and to let us know what's going on in your situation, and we will get you the next steps for the part of your journey that you're on. All right, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.